Hey, it's Father Time. How do I know? Because I have a sign back here. There it is, back there. Got it memorized. I have my Father Time t-shirt on from my retirement. And I've got a couple of new things I'm going to try today. I want to go Kennedy to Miami in bad weather. I've got FS Realistic on, which that's running. Don't know if I'm doing it right. We're going to try it. I've also got another program, PRO-ATC. No idea if it's going to work. I think it might only work with certain aircraft, and I'm not flying one of them. We're going to see about that too. I was looking up online. It looked kind of cool. So let's try going cold dark airplane from Kennedy to Miami. Okay, ATC radio. Electrical systems must be, you can't see that. This is for that PRO-ATC, or whatever that thing is. Yeah, PRO-ATC. The electrical systems must be turned on in order to use the radio and speak to air traffic control. Okay, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. So I'll move this out of the way, put it up here, and okay, so let's go inside the airplane, cold dark airplane. Let's take a look outside. Nasty day in New York. I do have the New York package. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, if you wouldn't mind. It's going to be a long flight. Got a lot to do here. Last time I streamed, I didn't have voices that you could hear the people boarding, or I had it turned off. I've done a couple of things. I'm not sure how this is all going to work out. We're going to give it a shot. All right. So walk in the cockpit. There's no maintenance flags. I'm going to turn on the external power to get some lights in here. And I'm going to turn on the battery, do a fire test, start the APU. Okay, get that booting up. I'm going to go to the upper overhead panel, and I'm going to turn on the both IRSs. But before I did that, what you're supposed to do is come in, and you're supposed to, first of all, check the trim is neutral. Everything's normal here. Fire handles are in. Fuel levers are control cutoff switches are cut off. The parking brake is set. Throttles are idle. Thrust reversers down. Speed brake levers down. Believe it or not, the next thing is on the overhead. You check the wipers are off. Hydraulics are all off because you're about to power the aircraft. Then you power the aircrafts. And now you come down here and you're going to initialize the FMC, which is right there. 787-800. Gen X engines, 1 Bravo, 64,000 pounds of thrust. Database is good till 4 October. It's 20 September. Retired 2 weeks ago. Please subscribe. We're on our way to 1,000. I think we have like 905 or something like that. Position in it. I put in the reference airport at my airline, which was American Airlines for 36 years. We didn't do this, but we're doing it now, baby. And the irises are aligning. Route JFK-Miami, and we are on 4 left. I did a sim brief flight plan, which I'll show you in a minute. Yeah, this is going to be a long flight, trying out a couple new features, and we'll talk a lot along the way. And if you're trying to fly the 787, the Kuro, Kuro 787-800. This is kind of an instruction on that. I never flew the 787, flew everything else. You can see that in my description below. But it's similar to the 777, so I'm learning it because I want to fly it across the pond, which is a VATSIM event, eastbound at the end of October, and I need a long-range airplane. I would love it to be the TFDI MD-11, but not sure that's going to make it on time. Zero fuel weight is 336.3. Man, this thing does not use much fuel compared to the 777, I'll tell you that. I was a 777 captain when I retired, guys. We're going at 40,000 feet. I flew pretty much every Boeing, 72, 73, 75, 76, 77, and even the it's cost index 132. Even the 707, because I flew KC-135s in the Air Force, which it's the 707 airframe, as you know. All right, let's just go max power. The current temperature outside is 15. Yeah, this is not a study level aircraft. The Kuro, it is free, however, and it will get you back and forth to Europe if you want to use that. I use full power, max power with all the bad weather. Takeoff, I'm going to go flaps 5, which is a normal takeoff on the 7.7. CG, I'll start with 25. Actually, 23. And Q speeds are on. And 150s on the panel. Might as well set that now while we're thinking about it. I do have Logitech panels, guys. So I'll be using those periodically to change things to make for expedition of the simulator. Yeah, this PRO-ATC, I'm not sure. I'm going to put 5,000 in here. It's going to work for this airplane. But we're going to try it. It is taking off 4 left, going to 8 right. So 4 left, we'll just do the Kennedy 5, which is 099 heading. It used to be 100 at 1.5 DME, but for whatever reason, now it's basically straight ahead. All right, let's go back down the box and get that set. Okay, we checked the database. It's all good. There's the route. Next page. And I need to do departures. JFK 5, 4 left. That one. And now our flight plan is Wavy MJ Q167. Wavy MJ Q167. Let me move that over here. Not exactly what I had planned, but you know. Wavy MJ Q167. All right, so route. Yeah, this airplane is not a study level aircraft. There's a few things which I'll point out as we're going, but generally it's a nice, pretty honest flying airplane. I have not changed any of the sensitivity settings. MJ does not have an automatic download feature, although I've been told that it's coming soon. Wavy MJ Q167, Q167. Not doing VATSIM today. Still trying to get used to this airplane. One thing I don't like about this airplane is that it doesn't have, and then I'm looking at the sim brief over here. Let me move it over. Maybe I can get it over where you can see it. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work. Wavy MJ Q167 to ZJ. Now, guys, I know it's a little boring to watch me do this, but there are guys that need this stuff. ZJAAY. JAAY. And when I was learning this stuff, which I still am, direct call to, it was hard to find guys who did things from cold, dark airplane on up. And that's kind of what you need when you're checking out on a new airplane. Next page. So I know it's a little laborious here, Q101, but I know it helped me when I could find a guy who did everything from scratch. So if you're really trying to learn, you would benefit by watching my videos, because I do take the time to explain everything I'm doing. S-Carp, when I do fly VATSIM, I do the same thing, because I had a lot of trouble finding guys. They would skip over things, and next thing you know, it's hard to learn VATSIM. Idles, Just a long process to do it manually. This happens in the airplane, though. We do things manually. Idles when it doesn't update automatically. Idles FLRDA. FLRDA. Don't even know about this route yet. I'll have to take a look at it. FLRDA, Ozina. I've got stormy weather programmed on the weather for the whole flight. So it'll be kind of scenic. As you can see, I don't know if you can see that actually. No, you can't. I'll come back up with that. Ozina, Hogue, HOAGG, Hogue, and the last point here is the Bluefish 2 to Miami 8 right. Departure arrival. Departure arrival. Bluefish 2. That's not Bluefish, it's BN fish, whatever that is. To 8 right. And transition is Hogue. Right? There we go. Now what we would do as a crew, we'd start off with the init. And the way we check it together. Index. ident. All right, there's a database. It's good. It's current through we're the 20th of September, so our database is good. Position in it. It's aligned. GPS route. We'd walk through that. KGFK-MIA. Runway 4 left to Kennedy. Flight 123. Actually, I think I did AAL 400 on this one. I think I did. Yes. Not that it matters, right? And the next page, JFK, which is runway heading, usually it's 1.5 DME right to 100, but the JFK 5 is just 099 heading. Direct wavy, direct MJ, Q167 GJ, direct Calda, you cross-check this against the flight plan. Q101 to Scarp, direct Idles, direct Florida, direct Ozina, direct Hogue, and then direct to Jore for the BN Fish 2 vectors for the 8 right ILS. And then you go through the legs, you go to plan, walk through them, and confirm everything is good. Last thing to know is Prague. Look at the distance, 1014. In our flight plan said 1027, so that's reasonable. Go back to init. We've got flaps 5 takeoff, CG23. 15 is the outside air temperature. Max power takeoff, 133, 140, 150 is V2. Thrust we're going to go with so those two. Takeoff, and next page, engine out is 800. Always go to next page on takeoff. Excel height is 1500. Thrust reduction is 1500. All good. All good. Okay. That's good. Index takeoff. And Bobby Boy will be over here on legs. All right, so now we go to the rest of the checklist. We've got the IRS is initialized. We did the outside, but let's get this airplane boarded. I think I got to start cutie. Was thinking about it. New to a lot of this, guys, so I'm learning. I think the problem here is it's waiting for Cootie to start. Yeah, it's stormy weather. Let's take a look at the flight plan while that updates. Oh, here we go. It's just updating right now. Make sure Cootie is updated, is on. I'm going to reload this. There we go. All right, request boarding. American Airlines. Yeah, for the last, I've only been flight simming since March or so, YouTubing. Kind of stumbled upon it. It started with flying around P-51s, things like that. Ended up doing P-38s, everything flying Ironheads offer except for the, I think, DC-6, which I'm going to do that next because Freaky D wants to fly some DC-3, DC-6 stuff, so I'll do that. Then I started flying all these different airplanes I used to fly. I was on the MD-11 for 25 years ago, flew that around. 777 Captain Sim, a lot of 7.6s, 7.5s, started doing all that stuff, but it was messing me up at work. Yeah, I bought both. I'm wondering, last trip you couldn't hear any of the sounds outside. I'm hoping I fixed that. Hope you can hear it now. All right, let's go back inside. Let's go to the overhead. So we initialize the FMC, upper overhead. And we want to make sure flight control surfaces, all the lights are out. Primary flight computers are good. Electrical available. We're on APU. We should have the packs on. And see this recirc fan? Off. Turn that on. And also emergency lights on. Flight door power on. So we come down. It's going to be a... Yeah, want to do something cool? Let's take a look at the crew coming on. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go showcase. We're going to go drone, free camera, camera drone. And we'll fly on in. There's a crew coming on, guys. The pilot's already in here. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Gonna be a little bumpy going down to Miami. Yeah. Oh, that was kind of a nasty look there. She must have heard about me. Yeah. Hello. Welcome aboard. Watch your step, guys. You know. Thank you. Let's board the passenger. All right. Let's go see them. Where are they? There they are. Welcome aboard. You're the first one on board. Come on, follow me. Anyway, you get the idea. Say hello to the crew. All right, that was fun. That was fun. So let's get out of that mode, right? Go back to cockpit and be done with that silliness. All right, guys, that was really fun. That's my drone. I use a Xbox controller to do that. Now I want to get this camera set up properly. And I'm going to set this landing like this. Good. Don't know what that is, right? Good. All right, let's go to the overhead. There's a couple of things on the box here. Got a caution. Forward cargo engine shutdown, 1L entry. No, those all look good, and that's page 1, so that's all of them. All right, let's go to the overhead now and finish the pre-flight. I've got the GSX set for the passengers to board a little quicker. Here we go. Wipers are off. It's all on. External power, they can pull that. We're done with it. We've got APU running everything. Window heat, all on. Remember, turbine, no lights. Hydraulics are all off. Fault lights on everything. Passenger signs, not yet. Master bright. All the way up. Beacon, no. Nav light, yes. That's all for now. All the way back up top. We're not going to do any fire tests, guys. All right? I'm not even sure they work. No, they don't work. One of the things that doesn't work here. Engine start selectors are normal. Fuel jettison is good. Same thing as the 777 here. This fuel pump is on because the APU is running. That comes on automatically. Otherwise, you have these 4 pressure lights. Engine ice should be in auto. Everything's auto. If you're below 10 degrees or below visible moisture, you got to turn the engine ice on the ground, then auto after airborne. Other than that, it's all automatic. Over here, cargo temps are good. Air conditioning on. Yeah, they turned the upper recirc fan off after shutdown, so now it's on. Packs are auto. Those are shut off after passengers deplane. Pressurization is good. Coming across here. What I'm doing is, if you look down here, I try to set engine out. And look at that, 66 to 235 aborted. Yeah, when I first started doing the GSX, it was a little slow to board. Yeah, I wish there was a way to have better control of this. The mins, if you sit here and you go too long, it slews up, way up. But anyway, you would set that to 810, and that's showing like close to it right now. That's the engine out acceleration. Altitude, altimeters. What are our altimeters here? Altimeters. Let me go to PDF. It is 3013. So I've got lousy weather set. It's actually pretty good because there's rain showers down in Miami, so it's realistic. 3013, altimeters, P. FS realistic is activated, but we're using, I will just use 2992 for the altimeters. All right, so that's the sim brief. Let's minimize that. It's still boarding, so we're not worried about it. Overhead. Down here, air conditioning pack, we already got that. So we were on the flight guidance panel, and we're going to plan on 100 airspeed. What is that, right? We did have it in there. In it, 150 is what should be up there. 150. So we did the overhead, we did the initialization, we did the walk around. Well, cockpit pre-flight, we came in, made sure all the safety items were done. We did the initialization, did all the fire tests, all that stuff. Well, somebody did the walk around, and now we're overhead, and we're going to turn to the flight guidance panel. Barrow, this is good. Altimeter set 150. These 5 paddles are up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, this is 2 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paddles are up. 5,000 initial altitude. Runway heading should be 099. I don't know what I did there, right? And I'll go heading and 099. I'm using my Logitech panel here, guys. 132 out of 235 are have boarded. All right, so the flight guidance panel is good. His side, we checked that, make sure that was good. Then we do our oxygen test. Press here once, press here, and while we hold this switch, this toggle switch right here for the mic, we make sure that we get good flow. System page. There's the oxygen. We see if we have a decrease. Hold it for 5 seconds, get a little decrease. While we're here, looks like there's no RF, which is refill on the hydraulics, or OF, which is overfill. And on the quantity, oil quantity, looks like it's 90% on both. That's good. None of these other things work. You can look at the fuel. Release fuel was 42.2. We have 42.5. Cross feeds closed. It's all in the wings, which is what we're looking for. If you haven't looked at these on the 7.8, that's it. This is what's requested is in pink. What it actually is in white. Everything looks good. Doors. Got the front door done, and it looks like they've already loaded the cargo. They're all closed. Gear, we look at the temperatures, 170 min on the nose, 200 min on the mains. Flight controls, all good. Stab trim, if you look at it, it was out of the green. One of the things you can't do on here, the electronic flight bag over here is not yet operative, so can't really do takeoff data. So you use the QRH speeds in the FMC. All right, so that's done. Coming across, gear handles down, RTO on the brakes. RTO on the brakes. And throttle quadrant, as we mentioned, reverse levers down, throttles are closed, speed brake levers down, flap levers up, RTO as mentioned, gear handles down, fuel cutoff switches, the cutoff, stab trims are normal. This is the alternate flap switches in off and guarded. Stab trim cutoff, so if you had runaway trim like that, 737 max, you should have cut these off and taken it over manually, and don't change the airspeed. Fuel, these are the fire handles are in, so APU fire handles in, this is in, and it doesn't, the test doesn't work on this thing. Transponder mode, we can set that, so let's take a look at that. Well, got plenty of time since they're boarding. Gonna have to know how to do all this because of the cross the pond event, which I'm going to do. We'll say our clearance is 4325 in here, and we're going to go TARA in here, 4225. If you put it above on the climb, it goes, I think, 8,500 above. Otherwise, it's only like 2,500 above, 2,500 below. If you hit below, it goes 8,500 below. So you can move that around. Some airlines, it's procedure. On the descent, have it below. On the climb, have it above. I'm going to leave it in normal. Frequencies, radio panels. So now we can go up here. I'm going to go VHF. And it's going to be, we're going to have ground over here, 121.9. Candy ground. And we're going to bring that on over with this transfer switch, 21.9. Then it'll be tower, 119.1. 119.1. Good. Center RUs are for data mode. But we're going to do, for ACARs, we'll do the right now, which will push back on Kennedy ramp. U.S. airports, you push back with a ramp control that's controlled by your company normally. And then 21.5 will be monitoring for the entire flight once we get up to the end of the runway. So 21.9 is ground. This is 19.1. We're going to get clearance automatically through ACARs rather. 29.9 is what we push back with. That's guard ready to go. So our radios are set. And our panel, we're pushed in. A little fault on this airplane, you can't have both of them at once. See that? That makes a problem because when you go to ATC and you want to get off and talk to anyone on the other radio, you would have to get permission. All right, and continuing on down with the radio panel. We got the trim is neutral. We check the rudder trim here, and we also check it on the back of the yoke. Top of the yoke, there's a little mark for rudder trim. Rudder and aileron trim's neutral. And this one we got using this as our transponder. You can use this for a multitude of things in the real airplane. Looks like they're already boarded. Want to take a look outside? Let's take a look. Hold on a second. Yeah, I think they're boarded. But let's have a little fun. GSX. Nah, we won't take a look. Looks like they're all on board. Deboarding no longer available. Boarding completed. Prepare for pushback. There goes the door shut. Jet bridge is going to go back. I would imagine the tug's going to start coming over. Let's go back inside. And checklist is complete. Let's go ahead and run the checklist. All right, I'm not going to answer them now because they don't really give me the option. So we're going to go in here, and I'm going to go. This guy would use checklists on this side. All right, and parking brakes are set. Fuel control switches are cut off. That's the pre-flight checklist. Before start, passenger signs. Oh, we didn't do that, did we? Okay, hang on a second. Make a PA to the people. Naturally, we tell them to stand by. MCPs, we got that all set. Takeoff speeds, we talked about that. CDU pre-flight we did. Trim we set. Taxi and takeoff brief, we'll say that's complete. And beacon on. And we're going to go to the overhead. And we're going to turn on the switches this way. Right to left. Left, yeah, right, clockwise. Make sure you do that. All right, tail nose to the right is what I want. Tail left. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. Nothing in the center, so I'm going to turn that on. And beacons are on. And checklist. So you got pumps on, beacons on, everything's on. And what he's doing outside, they're doing outside. Here we are being lifted. Pretty cool, huh? Gears coming up. Yeah, Kenny Ramp, American 400 heavy, gate 47 to pushback. American 400 heavy, clear to push gate 47. All right, upper overhead panel, we're clear to start. Start. Come back down the throttle quadrant. Up. And now we watch the EGT. Big thing here, guys. Like I said, this is instructional video. Cold, dark, bad weather, New York to Miami. It's a long thing. I spend a lot of time instructing. Totally up to you whether or not you want to have this level of instruction. But and I'm new to this 7.8. It's similar to the 777. See, it says auto start. It'll do 3 auto starts. It'll shut itself down, restart it. Other than seized. And seized, oil pressure is coming up. That's a big one. You know it's not seized. It's checking for that. It's checking for the EGTs below 100 before it will start. Well, now it's starting. It's auto starting. See this little red tick mark on the EGTs? That's fully started. When those go out, it's fully started. We're going to assume that it is fully started, guys. So I want to go outside and let you look. How's that? I love this stuff. All right. We got 2 normal starts. We are cleared to shut down the APU. I'll set the brakes. Confirm good engine start. All right, you can lower the flaps to 5, but no, don't do any checks until they're off. You can hear the people back there. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I hope you can. Noisy. And then what I noticed is I didn't arm VNav, LNav. He's leaving. All right. They're gone. So what we do here when he leaves is we do go up and we flash the taxi light at him once, let him know they're clear to go. I'm going to leave that on because we're about to taxi. All right, got the flaps set at 5 down here. I'm going to go outside for the flight control check. Right aileron. Captain usually checks the rudders, and the FO checks the aileron, the ailerons and elevators. 6 seconds stop to stop. Looks good. I'm going to get this into a little better position. Helps with taxi out if I go to the outside view. All right, let's do the checklist, please. checklist. And normal, anti-ice is good. Recall is up on the panel on both sides. You cancel it, recall, any problems come up here. Okay, and look at all your messages. They all look good. Its recall is done. Auto brakes, RTO, flight controls are checked. Ground equipment's clear. APU is shut down. And checklist complete. We could even do the before takeoff flaps are set. Reason it's here, not you don't do it back there in case there's ice on the runways, taxiways. You wouldn't lower your flaps till takeoff. And normal, that's after takeoff. So I'm going to leave this guy on CDU and put him on legs, and I'll be on takeoff for departure. Okay, here we go. All right. Yeah, Kennedy ramp, American 400 heavy, request taxi. American 400 heavy, roger, contact ground 219. 219, American 400 heavy. So I've got this ATC tab, which I don't think is going to work. That's it. Yeah, that's not what it is. So I'm going to get rid of that. ATC. So that's on the COM. ATC. Yeah, I want to do, I really don't want to have that going. So I think I'll just let it talk in the background for this flight, guys, okay? And, all right, here we go. A little bit dark in the cockpit, but be okay. Okay, clear left, clear right. We're clear to taxi. And Kennedy ground, American 400 heavy, coming out of Tango Alpha taxi. American 400 heavy, taxi runway 4 left. Turn left on Bravo, hold short of Kilo. Left on Bravo, short of Kilo, American 123 heavy. Here we go, guys. And overhead, let's get the wipers going. And this way. We got. I'm going to let these guys just go away, guys. Yeah, I bought this ATC, but I don't think it works for this aircraft, guys. I'm hoping when PMDG 777 comes on, it'll work for that one. It doesn't even work for the 737-800. It was $50. Not a good idea to buy it. Don't tell my wife. Okay, left on Bravo, short of Kilo, going to 4 left. Yeah, last video I made, I noticed you couldn't hear the engine sounds, couldn't hear the GSX cabin boarding. So I tried to reset everything. Not sure how it worked, if it worked. All right, so we don't have a checklist in Microsoft Flight Simulator for the 7878 by Kuro, but we do have one in the real airplane. In the real airplane, we do takeoff data and bugs. What happens is you get a closeout, and with that closeout comes your zero fuel weight, trim, planned takeoff weight. So you check your weights against plan, update your FMC. We're going to assume it all came in exactly right. You check your passenger count. If you came in, they say you have 230 people, and you have 225. you maybe have a problem. You double check that, make sure the passengers are correct. It has security items on there for hazardous goods, hazmat goods. If you didn't have a form, you say, well, we got hazmat and forward. Why don't we have a form for that? We'd have to get confirmation on that. But the most important thing is weights, winds, and temperatures. Weights are right on plan. Winds, do we have a headwind? And yes, we do. And temperature, we're on a max power, so are we above 15 degrees? If we are, we need new data. We're going to assume we're right on weight, right on temperature. No, we got all the hazmat forms we possibly could ever imagine. This thing doesn't want to turn. Tap a little brake. Tap a little brake. There we go, brother. Thank you so much. Now, how do we know where we are? Well, we know where we are because Captain Marvel yeah, sorry guys, this not good. Got a long way around to the Kilo. There we go. Taxi. Yeah, nice taxiing. Trying to move this thing over. So there we are. We got to go all the way up. Kilo's way up here. Wasn't let me drag that nav base over. All right, so the other thing we do is MCP and radios. And we want to make sure that our MCP, which is our flight guidance panel, right, is all set, which it is. We've got LNAV, VNAV armed. And we want to make sure the active runway on the nav display is in fact 4 left, which today it is. Yeah, Father Time t-shirt. On the back it says, the father has landed, because I was their father. I am their father. So my kids all gave me these t-shirts and going away, a happy birthday and retirement party. You can watch that video if you really want to see a poorly produced video by Father Time himself. That's on my website. But here we go. Hold short of Kilo. Yeah, American 400 Heavy, Kennedy ground. You clear right on Kilo. Contact, cleared across 3-1 left. Contact tower on the other side on 19-1. Right on Kilo, clear across 3-1 left. Contact tower on the other side, 19-1 for American 400 Heavy. Yeah, I like this taxi view. It's kind of cool. Kilo's up here, guys. This thing's pulling to the right a little bit. And what's our ground speed here? A little fast. 10 knots is a good cornering speed. Otherwise, you'll get scrubbing of the nose gear. Kind of a tight turn on the Kilo, as you can see. That doesn't want to turn on me. There we go. And Kennedy Tower, we usually don't say anything, guys. American 400 Heavy, Kennedy Tower. You're clear for takeoff 4 left. Clear for takeoff 4 left, American 400 Heavy. All right, flight attendants prepare for takeoff, please. And then chime them up here. Get all the lights going on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just gang load them all, guys. Visible as possible, right? Oh, the lights are on. Final's clear. We check TCAS. That's clear. Transparent is running. Clear for takeoff. Still pretty noisy in the back. my GSX volume must be too high. We'll see what you guys can hear on the recording. We'll just assume for now that it's going to be okay. On our way to Miami. Things I'm thinking about here, I rebrief the abort procedures right about in here. I say, okay, Bob, be my takeoff, my abort. We're going to be runway heading, climbing to 5,000 feet. Min sector is 3,000. If you lose an engine, 810's the engine out. We'll clean it up in VNAV. When we get to clean min maneuver with the flaps up, we'll check continuous power and come back around and land. Either runway works. The long runway is this one, but if we fought it out with a blown tire and engine pieces, we can always go to the right side. We're so lightweight, that's not a problem. Any questions? And there's no engine out procedure assigned to this runway. And no mountainous terrain. Any questions? No. Sounds good, boss. All right. Flight attendants have had adequate time. Can't really hear the engines. We'll assume we're in the quietest airplane. Maybe the 7.8 is really quiet. I've never flown in the 7.8. Got a couple of thousand in the pretty much every aircraft with American Airlines except for the Airbus fleet, A320s, and the 7.8. Got 5,000 in the 7.6, 7.5, and 5,000 in the A310. Otherwise, I'm around 2,000 and everything. I always took the upgrades when I could. Finals clear. Clear for takeoff. Runway heading 5,000. Yeah, I wasted my money on that ATC app. I have to try to figure that one out. Not a very good plan. All right, get it going straight. Bring the power up around 50%. Man, that passengers are loud back there. Toga. Here we go. Pretty good, huh? It does not want to go right. Why is it not going right? I'm going to use brake. That's interesting. Yeah, it does not want to go right. As a rotate. All right, positive rate, gear up. All right, clear to 100 heading. And Kennedy departure, American 1, 400 heavy, is rolling out on a 099 heading, climbing to 5,000. American 100 heavy, Kennedy departure. You guys hearing all that? Unbelievable. Clean it up, guys. That is FS realistic. That is going to ruin this presentation. Oh, well. See how it goes. American 100 heavy. I don't know if you guys can hear this. Climb maintain, flight level 400. Climb maintain 400, American 100 heavy. And American 100 heavy, you're clear direct to MJ. Direct to MJ, American 400 heavy. Execute it. Back up here. This is hysterical, guys. That's the FS realistic. I got to hit this. And I got this showing. For the MFD, I want nav display. And I want to increase the range. All right, FS realistic. We need to talk. We need to talk. Let's look outside. Here we go. Climbing to 250, flaps are up, gears up. And we're going direct to MJ, climbing like a banshee. Kind of cool. All right, what do we got here? Airport ambience, auto speed brake, breathing's on, brake slapping, crash screaming. Settings, master volume. Kuro 787, so it knows that. That's cool. Show avatar. I like this. Sounds, volumes, effects. I don't know. I think what we need to do, though, is somehow turn down the game volume on this. So I'm going to go this, general options, sound, master, aircraft engines. Let's bring those up a little bit. I'd like to hear those. Master, let's turn that down a little bit, guys. That's loud as heck. Aircraft missile warnings, 100%. Other work environment. I don't know. Let's try it out. I like to do this stuff live so you guys can help me. Yeah, I would have everyone seated. But if we look at the radar, which I should have had up initially, right? American 123 heavy. I would like to come right heading, looks like about 210 for weather. Roger, American 100 heavy, turn right heading 210. And advise when we're able back on course. Right heading 210, we'll call back on course. American 100 heavy, when able to back on course. So guys, the reason I picked 210 on here is it's kind of a good heading right in there, in between those cells. If I increase it a little more, yeah, and we definitely want to call back and tell the flight attendants to remain seated and make a PA to the people. Let them, everyone to stay seated. Might get a little bumpy on the climb out. And also for turbulence, 280 is the best climb. So let's go VNAV. And let me go in here and go, woohoo, 280 and slash 0.82. This airplane's like an 86 or 87 airplane. 280.82. That'll be for turbulence on the climb out. The rest of it looks good. All right, we're out of 18. Altimeter is transition. Standard cross check. Looks good. And then I want to go to the overhead. And I'm going to turn off all the lights except for, this is my airline's technique, by the way. So I leave on the strobes, the nav, and the beacons. That's all that's required by FARs. A lot of technique on these overheads. So we can actually go back in now. Ho-ho. We're climbing. We should be okay in here. Yeah, we're going to make it. American 123 heavy, we can take back on course. Roger, American 123 heavy. Tell you what, sir, you can proceed direct to Zizzy. Direct to Zizzy, American 123 heavy. Thank you. for your help. Zizzy looks good. We would do what we could to avoid all these little guys probably flying here. Just they would give us plus or minus 5 degrees. You got to be careful. In this area, there's a restricted area that's a warning area for fighters, and a lot of times they're a little bit inflexible coming through here, having flown this route and down to the Caribbean, South America. Not so much South America, usually out further, but definitely the Caribbean and Miami, obviously, many, many times over the years. All right, let's go back inside and go back to the box. Go checklist on his side. After takeoff, landing gears up, flaps up, normal, and that's a descent check, so that's good. Put this guy back on CDU. Okay. Yeah, I like to play with the views there. Okay. How we doing here? So we're climbing up to, you know what we didn't do? LNAV, right? They cleared the direct Zizzy, and I never went LNAV. He made a comment and said, American, where are you going? I'd say, oh, yeah. Sir, I didn't push the button. Actually, that'd be fine. Match the heading up. All right, we're climbing up to 24. Looks like we can use normal speeds now because we're above the weather. Take one last look out there. Yeah, we use normal speeds. We're fine. So I come back down the box, VNav, and just hit Econ. And there it is, execute, and LNav. LNav, VNav. On our way to Miami. Yeah, it's going to be interesting when I'm done making this video to see if you can hear the cockpit sounds. Because last video, I noticed it was very silent, made for a nice, quiet instruction, but not a very realistic scenario. Now, I do have FSX realistic in here, and I'm flying through crowds. It's not bouncing around, so I don't think, let me put this up here. I don't think it's working. No profiles. Yeah, profile cloud. I'll import these. Loading. I don't know what that is. It's a little better. Yeah, I don't know if that's because FS Realistic is importing, that it got silent, but I think I'm going to close that out. There we go. All right. Want to fly around a little bit? Let's go to this. We're just climbing up to our cruise altitude, right? Go camera, showcase, drone, free camera, camera drone, controller. Minimize that. Hello. Try not to make you sick. We're in the aft galley. This airplane obviously isn't detailed. This would be cool if it was. No people, but there's the gear all up. That might be worth looking at, guys. Forward galley. Yeah, for a freeware, this Kuro, I guess what a Sobo makes it 310, a 787-10, and this is a 787-800 that supplements it. It's freeware though. It's okay. I wouldn't say that it's the best, but it's got a bunch of buttons missing, but generally not too bad. How's that? You really get a sensation of speed when you're flying. One thing I'll definitely miss is the cockpit view of the speed as you go over the clouds. Anyway, I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, I love this stuff. And where are we during all this nonsense, right, guys? We are climbing 31 for 40, and we wait till we get up to 40 to make a PA. Yeah, I'm not getting any simulation of the turbulence or anything that FS Realistic normally supplies, so I guess that has something to do with my settings. I'll have to research that. Anybody who has an idea, I definitely like the FS Realistic, especially the turbulence aspects of it. I like it to bump around. Let me see something. Weather. Not live weather, no. We've got our stormy weather the whole way. That's okay. Now, I'd like this to be a little brighter in here. So I think what I'm going to do is come down here. Put it up a little bit. Normally the master controls all this stuff. This master up here, but I've got that all the way up. And it's not quite bright enough. Overhead panel. Glare shield panel. It looks good. Why don't we talk about the HUD a little bit on the I'm going to just adjust the landing view there. The HUD on this airplane. Let me see if I can get it going. All right, the HUD. Heads-up display. There's actually one on each side. For the 7.3 has one for the American, and 7.8 has two. If you take a look, this big circle is where you're supposed to be, and the little circle is where you are. So obviously, if you put the big circle in the little circle in the big circle, you get a good view of where you're supposed to be. That's pretty good. The command bars, well, this thing can be moving all around on an ILS, like constant inputs, little inputs, and the command bars aren't moving down here. So yes, it looks pretty scary as you make the final approach using the HUD as it goes around. But it's actually real fine corrections. You'll see that the PFD, it's not moving at all. So my point is it's hypersensitive. The other thing is, if you're looking for the runway, it's wherever this big circle is. So if you're in a heavy crosswind and you see the big circle off to the left, that's where the runway is. So little circle is where you're going, and the big circle is where you're supposed to be. And that's so on an ILS, or if you have heavy winds or coming in on a non-precision that is displaced, that big circle will be pointing towards the runway. It's great for that. As far as landing, at least on the 7.3, I'm not sure about the 7.8. Not great. If you follow it, you'll flare really high. So basically, you drive it down 30 feet, break the sync, start at 10 feet or so, start the power back, planning on touching idle power right as your gear touches down in the first 3,000 feet, a third of the runway. It doesn't work very well in the flare. It just doesn't. I'll keep an eye on it. Maybe this one will, but I don't think so. So I'll try to remember to use this on landing. Yeah, I assigned my HUD to this little guy. Let me do something here. Let me go escape, controls, 787, 787, 787, throttle quadrant, T-pendular, HOTUS 1, 787, and I'm going to say HUD, toggle HUD view. Select an input. Start scanning. There it is. Validate. I don't know why that dropped out, but it did. Apply and save. Escape. Escape. Oh, did I do the wrong button? I can do that. Or do this. But I don't know why that HUD view isn't working. I want to try that one more time since we got time here, guys. Controls. And I'm going to use HOTUS 1. That's my little joystick that I use for taxiing. Select an input. Search input by input. Search input. This one. Yeah. HUD view. Validate. Joystick axis. Let me do this and clear this one. And just use that one. Apply. Escape. Escape. Yeah, it's not working. Don't know why. Maybe this joystick isn't working. Because I was having trouble with the taxiing. I was having to use differential braking. And perhaps it's doing it. So here we are, 38 for 40. I don't want you to think I'm not paying attention. With the HUD up, that's nice, right? You can keep an eye. You can't see engine instruments or anything. And it's going to level. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Captain Richard. Welcome aboard. We should be on-time arrival in Miami, maybe a few minutes early. Right now, we are about 850 miles from landing in Miami, estimating touching down just about 2 hours. Weather in Miami, it's thunderstorms are in the area. They're landing to the east, and the winds are 15 miles an hour out of the east, and a temperature right now of 81 degrees, which is 27 degrees Celsius. I'm going to turn off the fasten seatbelt sign at this time. You're free to move out the cabin. I'd like to remind you that while at your seats, you are required to keep your seatbelts fastened securely about you. Once again, welcome aboard. We'll come back on approximately 25 minutes before landing to give you the most current weather as well as your proposed landing time. Thank you. All right. Now, we're leveling off 39 for 40. And we do have about 2 hours to go. So you don't need to see the en route cruise portion, do you? I don't think there's any way to, you could fast forward it, travel to, how do you do this? Travel to approach. Nope, don't want to do that. 39 for 40. So I'm going to pause the recording, and I'll pick it back up as we make our approach into Miami. because you don't need to sit here and watch all this. All right, Father Time, I'm back. Changed my shirt. I actually went out during my hour and a half break and power washed the lawn, the house. I got to go out and finish it after this, but hate to break your immersion, but kind of how it works around here, you know? Anyway, we're flying our 787-800 into Miami. We're landing in about 40 minutes. We're just coming up on Hogue. If you remember, let me see, Miami, Star. We're doing the Bluefish arrival. I went through the, I should show you, right? And I went through the legs page and zoom in on that for you. And I go to nav charts. And can you see that? Yeah, you can. Okay, good. So we're coming up over Hogue, Jure. Actually, what did I put up here? Did I put the Bluefish? That's the BN fish. Energy, Geldy. Let me move this over a little. Geldy at 17. Pick it up way up here. If you want to go back further, no, there, Hogue up here, Geldy. All right, Geldy at 280 and 17. There's 280 at 17. Sorry, guys, it's a little awkward to move this, but definitely important that we check it. Energy at energy 16 or below. Wooza. It's energy at 16 or below. Wooza not to scale. It's 12. Casset at 12 and 250. 12 and 250. And then BN fish at 11. Option at 11. Good day. Really important to check these guys. A lot of times there is problems here. Bonnet at above 9. Good day at 9 and 8. And Rhodes at 210 and 6 for landing 26 left. If we go to the ATIS here, on the airport, weather, ATIS, Miami information, Foxtrot, 0309. Why isn't the ATIS coming up? Oh, they are going to the east. Going to the east. They were originally, when I signed off with you, they were landing west. Expect ILS 8 right. So that's good. That's all through the navigraphs. ILS 8 right. We'll do that. ILS 8 right. I was going to do an RNAV approach, but we'll just do this. ILS 8 right. And bottom on here. Is 5,000 at 2PEC. 5,000 at 2PEC, and then vectors. So let's take a look at the FMC, the data. Go to, it doesn't let me go to plan mode here. So there are definitely some limitations here with this machine. But anyway, if we could walk it through, and we're going in for that. We are on, our radios are set up. We're on Miami approach. Trying to get back out of my my pressure washing mode. Miami approach is 2485. Tower is 18.3. ATIS is over here. It's 19.5. And this is ramp 3095. Our plan after landing on 8 right. 8 right is taxi. Let me see here. Miami airports, flights, Miami After landing on 8 right is to 8 right. We're going to clear probably in November. It's a real short taxi in spot 7, gate 28 right in here. So we're going to clear on 8 right. That's normally a departure runway, but we're going to clear on it. And I'll use brakes 3, flaps 30. And that's it. So approach, ILS 8 right. ILS 8 right. Got a 450 decision height. I know that's high. That's really high. Top of descent's here, guys. So we have 12 minutes to the top of descent. You can probably see that, right? 10 minutes is 80 miles, so about 12 minutes. So I'm not worried about it. What did I say it was? What a mind. What a mind. 450. Yeah, I got to figure out a better way to slew this thing around. It jumps significantly. I like to have it, though, because I don't like getting decision height callouts at the wrong time. Minimums, you know. All right, close enough. Here it is, minimums. And back to the Navigraph. We're doing the approach brief here. 110.3092, so go to the box. Nav is auto-tuned 110.3090. 110.3092. That's interesting. We'll leave it in there. Figure it knows what it's doing. Let's do the legs then. Maybe something's wrong here. Next page. Cobra Lawn 8 right. Cobra Lawn 8 right. Cobra Lawn 8 right. Okay, that's all good. Just got a little funky thing. It's a 2-degree difference on the ILS. We could hard tune it 10.3 and 0.92 if we wanted. I can show you how to do that. Because really that should be in there. 110.3092. We can go 110.3 / 092 and hard tune it. Okay. And we're in auto. All right, so we've checked the arrival. We've checked the taxi. We're on approach control with information Foxtrot. Let's see, the descent is set up. Make sure when I was out pressure washing the house, no problem. 0.843 cruise. This thing cruises across the North Atlantic at 86, 87. They go by the 777 like we're standing still. And the descent is 0.836305. That makes sense. And we talked about the bottom altitude if we're cleared for the descent as published. They usually step you down in Miami as 5,000 at Tupec. Okay. And Miami, they usually hold you up kind of high and then dump you. Let's go outside. Not much to look at. What a beautiful airplane. Beautiful airplane. Even gets a little bit of contrails going on there. You know, I've been flying for 46 years, right? I'm 65 years old, retired airline captain, and I get a kick out of this. So I can imagine you guys loving this stuff. All right. I'm still trying to get my views all set. That's good. And I got my HUD ready to go. Good. Talk a little bit about that when we get going. And I think that's it. And American 400, Miami Center. Contact Miami Approach on frequency 12485. 12485, American 400. Miami approach American 400 Heavy with you at 400. Roger, American 400 Heavy, you're cleared for the Bravo November Fish arrival into Miami. Expect runway 8 right. Cleared for the Bravo November Fish arrival. Expect runway 8 right for American 400 Heavy. Yes, sir, and you're cleared to descend with the SID, with the star. Cleared to descend with the BNN Fish arrival, American 400 Heavy. So what altitude do we put in here? We put in 4,000. No, 5,000. 5,000. Why don't you guys correct me? Come on. 5,000. All right, now we are in path, so this should descend and make all the crossings by itself. All right, and you guys who fly this airplane, info, maybe it's this one. Nope. What I was wondering was, how do we get the data? I love to have the times and the altitudes under there. On the 777, there was a data button. Maybe there is. There's no data there, no data there, no data there. It's just on the FMC, I guess. Okay. And let me do the checklist on this guy's side. Go to checklist. Recall. Push this button on either side. Looking for anything to pop up here that we might have forgotten. I was in there. Right now we got auto brakes, spoiler arm to go. Auto brakes are 3. Landing data is standard. It's probably about a 4,000 foot landing, 5,000 foot landing roll. We do it for wet runway, dry runway, engine out type of things. And approach briefing we completed. We're down to altimeters on the approach. Okay. Now if we don't do anything, all right, it's going to descend at the top of descent right here, which maybe 80 miles is 10 minutes at cruise. So in about 5 minutes, and it will make all these crossing restrictions that are in there, all of them, in path. If it needs help, it will ask for more drag, or say unable, or the next one, whatever it is. But we have 5,000 because we're clear to descend via the star. And the bottom line on the star was 5,000 at 2 pec. After that, it's vectors. So that's as far as we're clear. Truth is, Miami steps you down. They bring you down initially 240, then 13,000, then usually 11, then 9, holds you up high, abeam the field, and then just dumps you. So it's kind of a speed break, and they'll slow you to 210. There'll be a speed breaks, flaps 1 or 5, get on down to 3 for the tight turn in the final. They usually hold you high and dump you in. That is what they've been doing for years in Miami. Years. But if we don't do anything here, in 4 minutes or so, it's going to do the top of descent. We'll just let it do it as long as we're in path. All right, so we've done the approach brief. We looked at it. Remember that. Let me show you the gates here. Taxi. They're not all wide-body gates, so I'm hoping this is one. We get there. Parking bays. We're landing on 8 right over here, right on this runway, right there. If you take a look, see November. If we get off at November 9, it's spot 7, straight taxi in. So it's going to be Wood Tower that tells the contact ground. We'll contact ground, and then the other radio, the FO is contacting Ramp, who's an American Airlines agency. He'll tell us come into spot 7 for gate 28, and we'll command very short taxi in. So I'll make a PA. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Captain Rich. In just a couple of minutes, we'll be starting our descent into Miami. Miami weather is presently 81 degrees. They're landing to the east on the scattered clouds. Expecting an early arrival today. Have you at the gate in just about 30 minutes. I will be turning the seatbelt sign back on in preparation for landing in approximately 5 minutes. So if you have the need to get out of your seat, this will be your last opportunity to do so. Once again, thank you very much for choosing American Airlines. And I tell the other guy I'm back. Anytime you leave, you tell them, okay, you've got the radios, or I transfer control of the aircraft. So I would say, okay, your aircraft, and say, Roger, my aircraft. And that way, there's no anybody who's up on the PA is probably not paying attention. So if you're going to leave the cockpit and go back and make a PA in the phone, just give him everything. If you're not flying and you're making the PA, which typically is the case, he would say, okay, I'm off. You have the radios because I'm flying the airplane. I'd say, Roger, my airplane, my radios. That's kind of how we work it. He comes back. He goes, okay, I'm back. I say, okay, your radios. We kind of make sure there's always we know who's flying the airplane. We even know who's flying handling the radios. Pretty common thing to be done in all airlines. Typically, the pilot flying does not make the PA. The pilot monitoring makes the PAs. There are exceptions, but not many. I'm looking over here. This is not a good page for him to be on. He would typically be on nav. Nav display. Get him out like that. All right, I've got weather radar. There is some weather, so one of us should be in terrain. I'll put him on terrain and me on radar. Traffic's over here. So now I have traffic and radar. I wonder if you can have terrain on at the same time. I doubt it. Nope. So it's weather or terrain, but you should always have traffic on as well. Like I said, if you look down the transponder, down here, above or below, some airlines have it, with descending you go below, because it gives you a farther look. This doesn't work, but a farther look below, 8,500 versus 2,500. If you're climbing, you put it on above, that's 8,500 above, 25 below. So if you have traffic 4,000 feet above you, normally you can go to above and pick them up on your TCAS. A little bit of extra info there. All right, now, there's the descent coming up, and we'll start on the arrival. At 8.4 Mach, what do we say we're transitioning to? Next page for descent. 305 indicated. That's fine. And bugs, yeah, 137 for flaps 30 works good. Got my speeds written down here. As I mentioned, the placard is way down here. You can see it in the bottom left-hand corner. It's hard to read in dark and everything. So I have the speeds written down so I know when I can lower the different incremental flaps. I kind of do that with Microsoft Flight Simulator. To be honest with you, the airplane's hard to read too. All right, so there we go. We're starting down at the top of descent. You can see that here's the RNAV, RNP. You've got you're right on the course. You're right on the glide path. This is indicating the glide path as well. And you tell them Miami approach, American 400 Heavy is leaving 400, descending with the arrival. Roger. Should do 0.84, transition to 30 something on the descent. Let's go outside. Kind of coming in over the water today. Let's make sure that the hiatus hasn't changed. Up, ILS. Oh, look at this. Even VATSIM weather here, if you have it on the Navigator. I didn't know that. I like it. Got to get something out of this subscription, right? A Navigraph subscription's the best money I ever spent. The worst money I ever spent, I just got that ATC thing. Not a very good idea. Didn't work out too well. It's nice and quiet in here. And naturally, we'll be following along, making sure. But we already checked the points, right, to make sure the altitudes are correct. So as long as we got VNAV path and the RNAV, RNP is good now, it's right on the course. This is actually the VNAV path. We're right on. If it needs help, it's going to give us a message. It's going to say more drag required, and it would come down in the bottom here. It'll say drag required if it didn't think it could do it, because it does have speeds. 280 at Geldy, 250 at 12 at Cast. The reason they're going to do that is because they're going to hold you up high and jump you typically. We'll let it fly it in VNAV, LNAV on down as we make our approach. Short taxi in, huh? Don't forget we get the HUD. We'll be using that on landing. You're going to notice, as I mentioned earlier in the brief and in the flight, that this is where you want to go. Put the little circle inside the big circle. Very, very sensitive. You'll see this kind of moving around a lot, and you'll look down at your PFD, and it's like not moving, just sitting right there. But you're kind of doing all these little corrections. So when you fly with a HUD and it's clearing a million, we tend to use the bars and not the HUD, because the HUD will be doing a lot of corrections. But it's great if you want to be super precise. You're fighting it, but like I said, it's funny. You see the guy really working it with the HUD, and you look down and the bars are just like this because it's so sensitive. That's my HUD talk. What do we got here for information? That's our vertical speed, our altitude, LNAV, VNAV. Maybe I'll turn the HUD lighting up a bit. That's kind of hard to see it. The HUD. Turn it all the way up. See if that helps. Yeah, a little bit. So we're in path, LNAV. Hold means the throttles are at idle. And there's our VNAV path right there. So it's cool. We'll watch this on final. And I'll hand fly it, and you'll see that I'll be working my butt off with this thing. And the bars will be pretty much like that. Well, I'm giving myself too much credit. We'll see about that. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. So subscribe, please. Subscribe. Hey, we're up to like 920 or something. I looked when I was out pressure washing the house, and I was actually pre-treating the mold on the house. I'm going to go out and pressure wash it after this. Then I got a bunch of stuff to do around the house. This is just another flight, non-VATSIM. I'm going to start doing VATSIM here soon. As soon as I'm used to the 787, I'm just getting my mind around it. It's going pretty well, but I got to smooth it out just a bit before I go on VATSIM, because you really kind of everything has to be second nature on VATSIM. But I will be doing it. Have a couple of invitations. One guy wants me to do Captain Vassar, who's ex-American Airlines captain, and the flight simmer, wants me to do a T-37 flyby at the Academy. I'll do that soon enough, because I used to be a T-37 instructor. And I've got my boy, Freaky D, my man, Boeing engineer, flies a lot of the DC-3, DC-6s. Flying Iron, I think, has the DC-6, or PMDG has the DC-6, I think, which is a great organization. I'll have to learn how to fly that. I have to get my throttles configured for 4-engine prop. I don't even know how to feather. I can't even spell feather. But I'll fly with him. We'll do some things together. I'll make a video of that. And then I got Benchy wants to do like a New York-London flight, something transoceanic together. We'll do that. We can free up 8 hours with the ground operation and everything. And I owe that guy, so I'll do whatever flights he wants, I'll tell you. And then I'll be looking forward to that TFDI MD-11 coming out, which is in the beta mode, and they could be flying it, us heathens, as early as October. Well, we'll see. I bet that's going to be a great airplane. I flew that. I have 2,000 hours in it. Last flew in 1996, and as a first officer, then I upgraded to captain on the Super 80 in 96. But I love the airplane. I had some funky things happen with it over the years, which they've ironed out. which the jury's out on that one in my mind. But it's a it's a great airplane. It flies a lot like the 777-200, same size, flies almost identical to it. Well, as a matter of fact, so does this one. Flies better than it. I haven't been flying this very often, so I actually don't really know that, do I? All right, let's go to the overhead and get the lights on early, so I'm not maxed out. Out of 18, we usually get the lights with my airline. My former airline, here he goes. Lights are all on, strobes are on. And out of 18, we'll come back in here in a second. It's just going to go slow into 280, because if you remember, it needed to be at 280 fence. It's not saying more drag required, so 280 at the next point. Geldy seems to be doing okay by itself. And I promised the people I'd be turning the seatbelt sign on in 5 minutes in preparation for landing, so I'll do that. And right about the time I come in, we'll be approaching 18 for the altimeters. And what did we say the altimeters were? Weather, ATIS, real, 2999. 2999. And the winds are 0306, 10 miles. Nice day. And I told them 81 degrees, it's 82. Made that up. Still landing east, information Sierra. So that's departure. Arriving 8 right. Yeah, that's okay. All right, we're out of 18, so altimeters. Click that one. Click it. Let me go B on the altimeters. 2999, I love it. I press the letter B on my keyboard. 2999, 2999, all the way around. I'll put this on approach for base leg reading. Doesn't work. Yeah, this is not a study level aircraft, but it's a good compromise, guys. It really is. I don't want to be critical of it. It's definitely not the PMDG, P3D, 777 or their 73s. That is a study level aircraft. Some of the Flying Iron products are study level for what they are, but this one isn't. But it's pretty darn good, and you could definitely do VATSIM in it. Although you can't get the second radio, so you'd have to let them know if you were going to be going off for a while, changing frequencies to check, let's say, ATIS or whatever. But you shouldn't have to check ATIS if you have a Navigraph. You can either on VPilot, you can put in ATIS, space and whatever station you want. There's other ways to get the ATIS other than tuning the freak. But if you need the second radio on VATSIM, you'll have to ask them. All right, let's take a look down here. Cassett, are we still in path? We are. Leveled at 16. Now it's starting down again. Cassett at or above 12. So it should be starting down 412 right about now. I don't think it is. I'm a little uncomfortable with this. It's in VNAV. Yeah, I'm gonna, let's see if it does it after. No, it's level at 16. Let's go. Let's get down. And Miami American 400 heavy. We have just a little relief on Cassett. We might be a little bit above 12. Oh, I'm sorry. Might be a little bit above the glide path. Yeah, no problem, American. Descend, you don't need to comply with the altitudes. Why don't you, tell you what, American, why don't you just descend and maintain 1000. Descend and maintain 1000, American 123 heavy. So we'll maintain the arrival, 1000. This is typically what they do, guys. Then they hold you up here at 11. For whatever reason, it's Cassett above 12. It wasn't descending on the arrival. We'll go to 11. This is typically what they do. They bring you in at 11, hold you up down to 9, and then they 210 knots, and they dump you on in. So we'll do that. We'll do it like a real Miami arrival. So we're maintaining the BN Fish arrival ground track, and we're doing the altitudes manually with Miami, which is actually how they do it. Wonder if I put the hood on now. Nope. Trying to see experiment with the HUD. There it is. We can get that ready for the arrival, so we'll keep the HUD up for landing so I don't forget. See, it's easy in the airplane not to forget. It's 12 for 11. Now, Miami, because they hold you up high, then jump you, flight attendants, it's all based on timing, time in the flight. We tend to, when they hold us up at 11, we'll do the prepare for landing before 10, just so, because we know we're going to be slam dunked into Miami with a big arrival. I'll do it here in a minute. Get the heading, salute around. All right, let's go to the overhead. We'll sterilize them early. Flight attendants, prepare for landing, please. Yeah, because it's going to be, they care less about the altitude and more about the timing coming in. This is it. Fort Lauderdale's over here. Miami's up there. So going to be a big right turn. Hold us up high abeam Miami. Dump it down. We'll be at 210 knots. And they'll turn us in early for 8 right. Typically it's 8 left. But we'll do 8 right here today since we want to. See the ground track here? And it says 11, pen sat about of 11, and then a big right-hand turn. So it's typically following the ground path. If you look at the arrival, pen sat above 11, Rami above 8, Madonna above 6, so they hold you up at 9. And then 2-pack at 5. 2-pack's way out there, so we'll be on vectors well before that. Hope you find this interesting, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. It's free, you know. Subscriptions are free. It's just for my own edification. We're trying to press on for 1,000. Oh, we have a Discord. Discord, it'll be in the link below the video. It's managed by a friend of ours, Benchy, lives in Denmark. He handles all the Discord stuff. And I try to get on there and keep up, post my flights, post some videos. Used to post my schedule, but that ended a couple of weeks ago, didn't it? Okay, Americans, Miami, send and maintain 10,000. 10,000 for American 123 heavy. So I'm going to slow down to 250 first. Up here, right? And then at about 257, I can hit flight level change. We'll do it now. Got plenty of room because we have 1,000 feet to lose that amount. We don't have to do anything here. And there we go. 9,000. Double check with him. Yeah, Roger, 9,000. There go the throttles. We're at 250. They're already sterilized. Descent checks complete. Now we need to go down to the here. Altimeters. Approach checklist is complete. And we can probably, we'll hold off on the speed brakes. One more check of the final approach speed, see if it dropped off. Yeah, it dropped off a knot. 136, so we'll fly a 141 with a DH of 450, and that's due to towers on final, I would imagine, or cranes or something. That's awful high. All right, so we're LNAVing it in and flight level going to 9. This is exactly what they would do in Miami. Let's go outside, take a look. As it makes the turn. Ah ha ha. How do you like that? Fort Lauderdale down there. right down here. Miami's obviously right up here, Miami Beach. It's a causeway. You guys probably would like to be down there laying on the beach right now, wouldn't you? Who wouldn't, right? And there's Miami Beach, Biscayne Bay, down here. Holding it up high. There's Miami Airport coming up over here. It's going to make another turn onto basically a downwind. Holding us up at 250, 9,000. See Miami coming up over here? They'll typically keep you up close to 9 up till beam the field. I'm telling you, it's the Miami slam dunk. It's been going on for decades. Isn't that pretty? Miami, so here's 9, runway 9, 8 left, 9 right. See if our gate's open. It's over there somewhere. Not the best visual. All right, let's go back inside, start doing some of this pilot stuff. And American descend and maintain 5,000. American 123 descend and maintain 5,000. And American 123 slow to 210. Slow to 210, 5,000, American 123. Heavy. When you're with approach, it's heavy, right? Departure control or approach, it's heavy in the U.S. With center, like Boston Center, New York Center, you don't use heavy. All right, so we're below 260, so we know we can go flaps 1. The other guy verifies the speed, lowers flaps to 1. There's our indication. And we're going to really need flaps 5 to get down there. The Miami slam dunk, you can see we're pretty much abeam the field. And here we go, finally. We're descending on down. And American continued descent to 3,000. 3,000, American 123. And American, you can fly heading, present heading. Fly present heading, American 400 heavy. I keep saying 123, huh? All right, so present heading. All right, let's go back in the box, and we'll extend off of Lawn Cobra. Bring that all the way to the top. And the heading is 092, we said, right? So put in 092 in 6R. Right there, 092. Ask the other guy how it looks. He'll say good, and we're good. And what you get is a nice clean depiction there of the final approach. Now we may need a little speed brakes to get down a little faster, because they could dump us in anytime. They don't care. They honestly, they expect you to know what the heck you're doing. Now let's take a look at what altitude we're supposed to be at Lawn. So runway, oh, yeah, it disappeared. That's not standard, guys. Lawn is in here, and it dumped it. That's not what it usually does. Approach, 8 right. Cobra, Lawn at 15, Cobra at 3. All right, so we'll just be careful with that. And American descend and maintain 1,500 feet. 1,500 feet for American. 400 heavy. A little trouble with that, aren't I? And we can do, let's do 180. We're going to dump ourselves in. Let's say they descended us. You can go flaps 15. And American 123, turn left, base leg, heading 180. Left 180 for American 123 heavy. 400 heavy. Sorry, guys, I've been doing 123 for ever. All right, so where are we? We want a base leg, heading 180, descending at 180, and we got flaps 15. Looking good. And 1500 is our altitude at lawn. It's leveling nicely. Looks like it's going to work out. Got our HUD ready to go. American, turn left, heading and on the heading 150, on the heading join, you clear for the ILS 8 right. Left heading 150, on that heading you are clear for the ILS 8 right for American 400 heavy. And turn further left, American heading 130. Further left 130, American 100 heavy. I got glide slope arm, loc armed. Should be snapping over there in a moment. There it is, low capture. And the heading bug slews around for us. There's the runway out there, 8 right. Come in here. Let's go gear down, please. Gear down, flaps 20. And contact tower 19-1, 18-3. Going to tower 18-3, American 400 heavy. And Miami Tower, American 400 heavy. On final for 8 right. American 400 heavy. What gate are you using today, sir? Gate Delta 28, sir. Roger, American 400 heavy. Guess I better start using some other call sign other than American 123 because I sure have that stuck in my head. What do we say? 141 on the final approach speed. Let's go down the box. Yeah, 141, which is a +5. And there's glide slope capture up here. Low capture, set Mr. approach altitude of 3,000. Mr. approach altitude is set. And we are cleared to land. All we got to do is arm the spoilers, right? Are they armed? Where are they? That's the simism, guys. Speed brakes are on, landing gears down, flaps are checked before landing checklist is complete. All right, let's go outside. All right, so you see how it's all nice and stable. Now, Captain Marvel is going to turn off the autopilot here and embarrass myself. Now, if I fly, if you look down here, nice and steady. Look at how good these bars look. PFD-MD, it's nailed, right? Right on. But look it up here. So guys tend to follow the bars, but if you see them really working hard with the HUD, they're chasing this little circle up here. So you can be a lot smoother doing that. Now the nice thing is, if you want a super precise approach, that HUD's going to give it to you. As far as I mentioned on the land prior in the flight, not great, and we're stable by the way, not great. And at 500 feet we check stable target, airspeed stable target, and target airspeed, and sinking 700. Yeah, see how it's there? I'm just going to stay on the bars. But this isn't very good for landing, guys. Right, continuing. Yeah, that little pipper's pretty good there, isn't it? Not bad, but it is sensitive. 30 feet, I'll break the sync. Should hit 50, 40, 30. And go to reverse. Lower the nose gently. Runway center line. And we're going to get off at November 7. Here's 80 knots. 60. I don't actually know what taxiway this is. All right, so let's see what, I'm not sure if we're in November 7 or not. We'll do it. We're supposed to go in spot 7. American 400 heavy, contact ground, 21.8. Going to ground, 21.8. Flaps up after landing, please. Ground, American 400 heavy is on the ground for gate Delta 28. American 400 heavy, roger. You're clear to proceed to the gate, sir. Clear to proceed to the gate, American 100 heavy. Spot 7. Ramp, American 128's on the ground for Delta 28. Roger, American, you're cleared to the gate. Cleared to the gate, American 400 heavy. Let's get the lights off, guys. APU starting. Turn the taxi strobe off. These guys. And after landing checklist is complete. And let's go down to the radio panel and get rid of that approach frequency so we can hear. All right. Sorry, guys. A little simism here. All right. Lights after landing checklist complete, sir. Thank you very much. The HUD could be stowed. Pretty cool, huh? With the HUD. All right, now my stick is working now. See how my spoilers are up? I'm recycling them, and they're not wanting to come down. Another simism. See how it's going to the left? Ah, well. Let's come back inside. Who knows? All right, brakes are parked. Overhead. My sim is starting to freeze up here. Seatbelt sign is off. APU is running. Is it? APU is running. Yeah, you can chop them. Chop them. Back to the overhead for me. And my little flow is you turn off the emergency exit lights, which is easier said than done. And they're off. You turn off the window heat's going to come off. FO gets that. Turn off all the hydraulics, fuel pumps, and leave it like that. So I go, emergency exit lights are off. I turn the window heat off since I'm up here. And I think they want the upper recirc fan off. Hydraulic pumps come this way, fuel pumps off, and then we come down, we turn off the beacon, leave the nav lights on, and you call for checklist. So now we come down. The most important thing is we got to get GSX going, get these folks off the airplane, see if we can request deboarding. American Airlines, all right, white, whatever that is. All right, let's go back to checklist. Checklist. Right here. Normal. Hydraulic panel is set. Fuel panel is set. Flaps are up. Parking brake is set. Fuel control switch is a cutoff. Normal. IRSs. Go to the overhead. There's actually a lot more things you got to do before you shut everything down. Hope you can hear all this stuff. Like I said last stream, you couldn't. The GSX. IRSs are off. Emergency lights are off. PACs. Typically you don't get that until everyone gets off the airplane. But we'll get it off in accordance with the checklist. PACs off, and we turn off the upper recirc fan. That's off. Looks like they've got external power plugged in, like that, so we can turn off the APU. Like I said, if they do external power conditioned air, we will shut off the APU because it gets hot in a hurry. That's all good. And now checklist is complete. Last thing I would come up to do is we try to save the lights as much as possible, and we fill out the logbook. All right, let's go say goodbye. Yeah, so these spoilers, I'm not sure why they're up. That's a write-up for maintenance, right? Because look at this. If you go to the throttle quadrant, oh, there it is. Let's just use this. It's still in the landing mode. Auto brakes are off. These are all up. That's okay. That'd be a write-up that the spoilers don't want to go up. But anyway, we know it. Some airlines turn off the parking brake once you're chalked. American, we always left them on. And that's pretty much it. So let's go watch everyone get off the airplane. We're going to go outside. Little camera. Little showcase. Little fixed free camera. Camera drone. Pick up your thing. And say goodbye to the people. Woohoo! There they go. Now you get the idea, right? Here they go. Thank you. Thank you. Watch your step, please. Watch your step. Yeah. And how do you like that? Anyway, enough of the silliness. I still get a kick out of this stuff, But it's Father Time going out. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for taking such good care of me. I was out for a couple of months, had an injury, bunch of stuff going on. That guy looks like my son getting off there. I didn't even know he was going to Miami. But appreciate you guys. I will try to take care of you when you make requests. Any suggestions you have, especially with Microsoft Flight Simulator, please make sure you either go on our Discord, join our Discord, which will be in the post below, or mention them, or just make a comment. We are never offended. Never offended here at Father Timeville. All right, that's it. Appreciate you guys. Father Time's out.